Hi guys, I said I'd update you about the festival that I was recently involved with. I was the health and safety lead for a 6-band tribute festival, one-day festival that took place in my local area. They were hoping to get, and we actually planned for, 10,000 people. They were a little bit late getting off the starting blocks, and I suppose it's a lesson to all of us. They were late in terms of getting to market. So they were behind the curve. They were hoping for 10,000. They actually managed to get 4,500 people through the gates, which was a remarkable achievement, bearing in mind it's their very, very first event. So I've got to give them applause for that. They used one of the major ticketing platforms, which was useful. So they've got all that data, they've got the emails, they've got the demographics, so they can build on that next year, which is really, really useful. For me personally, I think that the best way to market a music event is Facebook, and certainly the kind of demographic age group we were looking at which was predominantly sort of 30s to maybe late 50s, rock fans basically. That really would have been, Facebook would have been the ideal place for them to be marketing. And the great thing about Facebook is once you've got that group there, then of course you can easily post things like videos like this or competitions, get people to repost things, viral videos and emails. So they kind of missed out on that. They're also, unfortunately, they were a little bit late in putting in their application for the license. I was very much involved with helping them to win that license. The local council did a great job, don't get me wrong. However, they were very, very pedantic about what they wanted. And once again, it's a warning. It's always the same with events, isn't it? Timing. Get it done as soon as you can get in there. The license that we applied for was actually a full premises license, the kind of license you'd have at a bar or a nightclub, because our numbers were we were applying for a license for over 499 people. If you're under 499, you apply in the UK for a temporary event notice. I had to put forward a 120-page event safety plan, ESP, which the council very much enjoyed reading, as I'm sure you can imagine. They came back with 100 different remarks and comments on that ESP, all of which I had to answer. And thankfully we got through that process and the license was granted. But once again, leave yourself plenty of time. We were really rushed into this, and next year I know that we'll be far better prepared. So a couple of things that happened on the day. With their marketing, as I say, they relied on just this ticketing platform and one radio station. One of the criticisms was locally that radio stations continually played ads for their festival, which obviously eventually gets on people's nerves at times. So that was a shame. So as I say, Facebook is really where they should be going. A couple of other things that we were looking at. Couple of mistakes I think they made. As I say, I was there really as their health and safety lead, and I tried to give them some advice. They were new to the festival world. They had not enough event crew on the build up to the event, and they had no event crew on the day of the event, which was a real mistake. So building up to the event, they realised very quickly how difficult it is to put on a festival, and much to their credit, they were working 15, 16-hour days, but totally exhausted because they were undermanned, under-resourced, one of the biggest issues with the event industry. And that was the same with the event itself, the festival itself. Plenty of staff there in terms of the catering, bars, security, medical, all the right things there, all the right places. All of our contractors had plenty of staff. Unfortunately, we had a core management team, but no designated event crew. And eventually, you always need event crew on an event, an outdoor event of that size. Luckily, and very luckily, we were fantastically looked after by the venue, and they had some very experienced ground staff who did a brilliant job. And without them, the event wouldn't have been in trouble, but it would have been a nightmare for the management people. One of the things I'm always teaching people is you cannot manage and do. You're going to get yourself in terrible problems. So that was one of the issues. But once again, they managed to get through that. Some of the suppliers were late getting back to me with their risk assessments and method statements. Excuse me, my voice is going. So yes, make sure make sure you're really keeping on top of your contractors to make sure you're getting things like the risk assessment, their method statements, and their public liability policies. And sometimes this does take a long time, even from very credible, very competent suppliers. They're very busy in the summertime. So overall, the music was fantastic. People had a great day. Many of the visitors were asking me about next year. Really looking forward to it. So the takeaways from today, the one major takeaway is plan, and give yourself plenty of time. Okay, I look forward to seeing you very soon. I'm Kevin Walters, the Event Resources Group. If you want to join us on the Ultimate Event Group, we'd love to see you. Please share this video, and I look forward to giving you some more tips and advice on another occasion. Thank you.